such a good night to kiss. It is such a good night to dance. It is such a good night to Scooby-Doo-Doo-Doo, Scooby-Doo-Doo-Doo, Scooby-Doo-Doo-Doo love.
Marshall McLuhan, the Canadian media scholar, once said that the medium is the message, and by this he meant that uh, the influence or the impact of a message is inseparable from the medium. Watching a movie at home, like on TV or a phone, can be highly individualistic experience as opposed to going to a movie theater, um, because increased number of people watch movies on a phone, and even when you see that on a larger screen, it can be a very different experience. Martin Scorsese, who directed The Irishman, met his doctor, and who said he had been watching The Irishman for over a week, for 15 minutes a day, and that can be a very different experience. Like, those who saw the movie in a movie theater or at home without stopping, right? And like watching a movie alone, of course, is very different from watching a movie with others.
Now, subversion on a massive level. Audience response, cause and effect on the screen, feeling the atmosphere in the theater change, getting to where you're going as far as the movie is concerned. We talked about all these things. Mm-hmm. The talk show sequence in The Joker encompasses all of these things on a profound level, a level that I think is over most viewers' heads. Then it gets to the talk show scene, and you feel the entire atmosphere in the theater change. It's not suspense, it's beyond suspense. They are riveted. It's everybody is completely plugged in. I've talked to people, if you saw this movie on an airplane, if you watched this movie streaming, if you watched this movie on DVD, you didn't fucking see the movie.
So I grew up with drive-ins, which are really good as far as nostalgia and really difficult as far as movie enjoyment. I like old theaters. I've been very, very lucky to watch some of the theaters that I grew up with back home either be preserved, and so we have movie theaters that I remember my grandfather telling me the first movie he ever took my grandma to see was in the Towanda Theater, in the Keystone Theater in Towanda, Pennsylvania. And they went to see a movie there, and they have worked really hard to preserve that movie theater. And my grandpa and grandma went on their first date in 1935. And so I think it's really cool sometimes to go back and to look in old theaters. I saw the Blair Witch Project in a movie theater here in Erie. It doesn't exist anymore. In the middle of July, and the air conditioning broke, and it was like freezing cold. And just the aesthetics and the way that that film is so formalistically put together and so clever, in the way that it's done. Like, I was sitting there freezing to death along with the characters as they were like, this is so cold, and the witch is here. And it gave a really amazing, realistic feel to it. I think that it's important to have a movie theater that fits the aesthetic of the film and the story of the film. But there's nothing wrong with having a great big 18 screen movie theater too that you can go watch Yippee-Ki-Yay on if you need to.
I think that cinemas are very important institution, and it deserves our support because think about um, the economic impact and it's also social functions too, and it uh, gets people together, right? And we live in the same community, and we enjoy the same movies together. And again, I think it plays a very important role as a sort of cement, and also economically, um, cinemas hire more than 150,000 individuals nationwide. So when they appear, think about this economic impact on the restaurants and coffee shops located nearby, and also the jobs that disappear too. I think we need to go to the movie theaters to enjoy the ultimate movie experience only cinemas can provide.